Hi, my name is Matt. Welcome to Unbearable 73. So this is the episode 2 review of Obi Wan Kenobi. I was going to do a whole script, organize my thoughts and whatnot, and, maybe formulate, to try to find balance in what I'm saying and all that. And I can't. Because I'll follow my review format, and I'll say the production values are larger than what I talked about last episode. Only we're not on a desert planet now. Now we're on for the most part, it takes place on some sort of grungy industrial world in the dark, where but the colors are still drowned out. This has to be an effect they're going to for like what they did in Man of Steel, where they lowered the palette and made it less less more emotionally dampening, more grimdark or whatever. McGregor continues to portray Obi-Wan as someone struggling with a lot of weight on his shoulders, lacking confidence and whatever. It's been 10 bloody years. He's a Jedi Master. Like I said, I could have seen if this was 6 months after the Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan struggling and stuff. 10 years? 10 years of meditation and whatever, and not to sort of... This isn't you or me. This even... this isn't even like a real world, like someone who's been a priest or a monk for a long time, where they learn to meditate and do their inner self and all that. This is a guy who connects to the Force, which fundamentally tells him information and truths that we have no real world access to. Okay, so it is not believable in any way that Obi-Wan is this freaking depressed. Okay, now writing, more bad writing, and whereas the bad writing in the first episode was just annoyingly bad, this is laughably bad. Okay, laughably bad. So, okay, and the sound and the soundtrack was really bad for this one as well. The music is supposed to keep you. I'm yawning because I just drank a glass of wine to be able to do this review, and at my age, a little bit of wine makes me a little drowsy. Plus I only slept like 4 hours. But maybe I should have drank more wine and I'd be able to do this review better. Because the episode certainly didn't inspire it. Okay, so the music is supposed to sort of draw you in mood-wise to what's going on the screen. So if something happy is going on the screen, you get an uplift beat and you're supposed to feel happier. If something is dangerous, you feel it in danger and so forth, right? None of that happened here. The music in here was more like the I'm not saying it was bad quality in terms of being done. I'm saying it was used the way you would use the waiting music on a phone answering service, just sort of like elevator music while you're on the elevator. So that's basically you're trapped in the elevator of this show while the elevator music plays. That's the impression you would feel. So on to the plot and writing, because this is where the messes start. It's like the people writing this don't understand that Obi-Wan is competent, and I'm not even speaking to the woke part, okay? Because they're trying to downplay him to prop up the female characters, blah 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 blah, okay? And they show Obi-Wan using some of his old prequel skills, sneaking around, investigating, fine, right? But the guy knows how the criminal underworld works, okay? And yet he's. Stop. Calm down. He goes to a criminal world, knows how it works, and has no backup plan how to get out. Oh, we'll just get that last ship. I'm sure that'll work out fine. Not that last ship couldn't be intercepted, or maybe it's a smuggler's plant. So what if they're evil smugglers or whatever? No backup plan. Obi-Wan would have a backup plan. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. He's being written incompetently, in the sense that the writers are not competent to write a character who should be capable of what he's capable of. Right. So then we get to Leia. Okay. I'll say Batreva for last. Okay. She's not the Reva we want, but she's not the Reva we need or the Reva we want, but it's the one we get. Right. So 10-year-old Leia, on her pudgy little legs, continues to outrun adults. We know Obi-Wan gets super speed with the Force. We saw it in the prequel trilogies. How does a little 10-year-old elude him? and it's even played for a laugh. It's one of the two good scenes in this whole movie. Okay, when precocious Leia. Now here we'll get Leia. Leia follows along Obi-Wan. She's like, I'm a Jet. She's constantly like smart cracking and all that. I mean, that's going to be the thing. You're going to, especially when you meet Space Arnold from, because the actor's channeling Arnold. I mean, it's a young black man, but he's basically, they must have told him, watch Different Strokes, all these clips of Gary Coleman playing Arnold, and for your two scenes, that's how you're going to do it, okay? Basically, he's Space Arnold, okay? The kid who has two scenes, one which is where Obi-Wan is looking for, Obi-Wan is looking for someone to give him information on Leia, and the kid's like, I know a Jedi, with Arnold body posture, Arnold face, Arnold tone of voice, and like, who helps people, well, you give me 2 credits, I'll take you to him, fine, whatever. That's his first scene. Second scene later is when he tells the fake Jedi, it's a con man, with a heart of gold. The con man has a heart of gold, okay? Obi-Wan comes across him using like technology to fake force powers, but it turns out even though he's faking being a Jedi, he's really helping a mother and her son who's showing force powers to get off the world. Fine, okay, yeah, whatever. Maybe he needs a trust bill, whatever. Okay. This guy tells Obi-Wan where to go to find the criminal scum who most likely have Leia. Obi-Wan uses his powers of infiltration. That scene was cool. He sneaks into the drug area, whatever. And then gets some of the drugs. We don't see it. Well, we kind of see it. We don't know why. He gets some of the drugs, stows them, whatever. And then he gets into the back end of the villain's lair. And this has to be one of the worst fight scenes ever. I don't know if they were trying to portray like Obi-Wan being old and out of shape, which shouldn't matter because he has the Force, okay? Or if they're trying to I don't know what they were trying to do. But Obi-Wan took on 3 dudes and it was horribly choreographed. You could see Ewan McGregor using the Obi-Wan style he learned how to do in the prequel trilogy, the way Obi-Wan fought with misdirection, kind of like Space Aikido or whatever you want to call it. With grappling and flipping guys around and nothing less punching and kicking. And then he punches a guy and he hurts his hand. I mean, come on, okay? The trope of you punching a guy and your hand, oh, my hand hurts, okay? The only time that happens is either when you've never punched someone before or you have injuries to your hand, okay? Or you hit a guy so hard you break his skull and he dies. It doesn't have, Obi-Wan clearly punched people many times before. His hand should not be hurting like that, okay? In addition to the fact he has the Force. And the Force, he should be instinctively using the Force to brace himself, right? So, horrible fighting scene happens. Obi-Wan goes in. Then Obi-Wan gets captured. And this is kind of an okay. This is. I think there were 2 good scenes. This is kind of a third one. Obi-Wan lets himself get captured to sneak in and try to find out what Leia is. If these right kidnappers, he does. And then rather than just Jedi mind tricking them or just force slamming through the wall and killing them, this is another thing. Okay, the Force is supposed to be guiding Obi-Wan to do everything he needs to do, right? So why is the Force letting him leave these guys alive? Because we know from the PT and the OT that the Force will say, just kill this MF, okay? We know it. The Jedi are not pacifists. The Jedi will kill people, okay? So had Obi-Wan killed these 3 guys, the entire rest of the plot of this episode would not have happened. Right? So, then you get a scene where Obi-Wan finds precocious Leia, who, she's still got the fight in her. She kicks him in the shins and runs out. And, I'm here to rescue you. Your father sent me, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, okay, you're a Jedi? You look kind of old to be a Jedi. Smart-ass kid again. They're writing the kids as exceptionally smart-ass, basically. Except for Luke. You get one scene so she's constantly jibber-jabbering with him. She should be in fear. A 10-year-old who's been kidnapped for days should be in fear. Okay? Yeah, I understand there's a trope in Star Wars where kids could be heroes and whatever. This should not be the case, okay? It was better. Honestly, I did not like Anakin going back in the first movie as a little kid. I thought the whole Anakin, sorry, why is speaking up again? I thought the whole bit with Anakin being in that fight scene at the end in the space fighter was stupid and destroyed the movie, in my opinion. Okay, he was too young. So let's go back to what we're talking about here. So they jibber jabber back and forth, with standard adult child interaction that you would expect when you have a badly written child in a movie. Okay, they write the child in such a way that they steal the scenes. So then Obi-Wan gets a comm from one of the bounty hunters after she shoots him, which is about to grab Leia. And Leia for like less than a second, Leia's like, "Oh my God, he was gonna hurt me and he shot him. There's a dead guy." Well, fast forward, doesn't happen. You're a child. You see someone murdered in front of you, first time ever, most likely, and no impact. No impact. How bad is the writing and the direction? It's how bad. So, then Obi-Wan gets the comm, and he's looking at it, and she's like, "Oh, you're the reason they kidnapped me." How the hell would she even know that? Why she was kidnapped? Well, how could she deduce that from watching a brief thing that Reva wants Obi-Wan captured, which I kind of glossed over, in that Reva is continuing her secret plan. She's seen where she defies the Gwen Inquisitor again, who doesn't just kill her. We don't know why. And she spreads word that Kenobi's on the planet, so she had the bounty hunters flush him out, right? And I'll get to her in a minute. So, more banter between ultra precocious Leia and Obi-Wan then she runs again. Now, again, 10-year-old outrunning an adult, and why Obi-Wan just didn't force yank her back and then, whatever. So then somehow the 10-year-old gets on top of a roof. I didn't catch how she did it. I'm sure. Did they even show her running upstairs? I don't know. Okay? Obi-Wan is like, you could see Obi-Wan the actor told, don't catch up to her. Don't catch up to her. But I can imagine her saying, "Don't catch up. Run slower." I can imagine him off screen doing that. You could see Obi-Wan kind of like take a run step and stop. Take a run, like he's even Ewan McGregor could have caught this kid. Like, not even Obi wan Kenobi should be who's an elite trained warrior. Ewan McGregor could have caught this kid. Okay. Somehow she outruns adults continuously, trained adults. So we get a rooftop chase where Leia eludes Obi-Wan from multiple roofs while bounty hunters are closing in on Obi-Wan. And then Obi-Wan gets into a fight, and Obi-Wan delays elite Imperial Stormtrooper-like accuracy in shooting back at guys. I mean, come on, okay? The Jedi knew how to fire blasters, and they were trained. They were trained warriors. They're going to be circumstances where they would shoot things, and they should be more accurate than an Imperial Stormtrooper. And I usually joke Imperial Stormtrooper accuracy, the trope from Star Wars, not real one, okay? So, eventually we get to a point where Leia gets stopped by a 10 or 12 foot gap between buildings, and Obi-Wan's like, "Leia, don't jump, come back to me." While he's hiding out, missing bounty hunters, and there's more and more of them just accumulating. So finally Leia just jumps and misses, and she falls. And clearly she falls short, like 5 feet short of the other end. She's falling to her death. Obi-Wan's like, "No!" Slow motion. Finally, he used the Force to catch her and lower her to the ground. So this convinces Leia that he must really be a Jedi. So they're back on the same side again. Okay. Now, while all this is going on, we get the Reva we don't need and don't want, despite having the Reva we do want and don't need, or whatever you want to say. Okay. They literally stole scenes from Batman movies. Like, the writers for this one, the director must have been like, "We're going to use some cool scenes from this Batman." See, Reva, this is a pose from this Batman film. In this scene, you're going to pose like that. Reva, in this, you're going to pose like this here, and you're going to move like this here. Okay. Basically, we have Bat Reva perched on top of buildings, scanning around, until she notices the massive amount of fire going on, figured out that must be Obi-Wan, and then begins roof jumping Batman style over to where the fire is. Okay. Oh God. It's bad. I mean, I almost had to stop and just go lay down and say, "Screw it, I'm not going to do any more of this." But I want to go. I want to fight my way through this just to point crap out. Okay. So I haven't even looked at my. I have tons of notes. I was like, tonally inappropriate banter. There should be a serious episode with maybe one or two bits of humor that are darker. Not, well, I could go on with that, but I'm just gonna. Okay. So let's get to where the plot. Yeah. Sorry. So Obi-Wan. So fake Jedi shows up again. Fake Jedi with Art of Gold, and he's like, he's like, here, take this. The city's locked down. It's the only way you guys to use this. It's one of those little things that open up like a port that the droids access. Whatever. And you go there. There'll be a ship there. It's your only way out. It says, and it was, I'll make up for something, whatever he was making up for. And give you time. And he puts up a hood and a gun. And he goes running around trying to distract the Inquisitors and their stormtrooper minions. Happens to run into Reva. Now, everything we know about Reva says when the dude appears in front of her, who's not Obi-Wan, she's just gonna murder him, right? Yeah, for some reason, Reva decides not to murder him and tries to go around him. Says you're not really a Jedi. And then, so then Reva, excuse me, now my allergies are kicking in. Like it's so bad they don't want me to do a review, So then Reva comes back and says, you can give me the information. And so she uses Sith powers to pull the information out of his head. And then lets him live. He defied her, helped the fugitive. She is a dark Jedi, trained in a Sith way. Why did she let him live? Well, clearly because he's going to be needed in a later scene, maybe next episode or whatever. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, so Reva finds out where Obi-Wan is. They go to this port, and then you know how they were stealing all the Batman scenes for Reva hopping around the roofs. You'll understand when you see it if you bother watching it. Now they're basically ripping off Vader scenes from the OT. Okay, Reva pulls out her lightsaber, which is a model with a bucket handle type thing. Okay, lightsaber design I'm cool with, and begins stalking like the same way that Vader stalked Luke in Empire and in Return of the Jedi. She's stalking around. She's like, I can sense your fear. Your fear is drawing you out, and all sorts of lines. And then out of nowhere, okay, in Star Wars, people need to understand this. When Lucas owned it, in Lucas continuity, I'll call it, virtually no one knew that Vader was Anakin. The Emperor knew, Tarkin knew, a couple other people, and Obi-Wan knew, okay, and Yoda. Reva knows that Anakin is Vader, okay? So, is this going to be a case where Vader is... Now, this could make sense. You remember the Sith rules and all that? Where the master and the apprentice, it can only be two, and the apprentice should overcome the master. And it's been clearly established in Star Wars that the master and the apprentice will seek their own apprentices to try to... In other words, like Vader will have a non-Sith apprentice or two, and he'll use them to push him to try to surpass his master, and the master Sith knows the other ones out there. If they beat Vader, then they become candidate for his apprentice. And so that's how the Sith works. There are only two actual Sith, but there are other Force users involved that they have as subordinates who can push them to maintain their spot or gain the higher spot. And then if Vader became the Master Sith, then one of Vader's apprentices would become the new apprentice Sith. That's the way the Sith have worked for thousands of years, right? If they had established that with Reva beforehand, that she was one of Vader's chosen to be his sort of apprentice to push him, and she was being trained by Vader, some of this stuff might work, okay? But for some reason, Reva wants to bring Kenobi to Vader. She's loyal to him or something. I don't know, okay? So, let's think about this now. So, Reva's doing her best when they blatantly stole scenes from Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back of Vader and Vader's mannerisms with, stalking Luke around. And like, your feelings betray you. I sense your fear, blah, blah, blah. And Obi-Wan's cowering with his lightsaber. Just kill her. If he just goes out and kills her, and if Vader can fight Obi-Wan to a standstill, okay, Obi-Wan can fight to a standstill, Obi-Wan can kill Reva. Anyone, if Obi-Wan loses to a fight to Reva at any point in this show, it's even worse of a joke than it is, right? So, I've already gone for longer just ranting about this crap. So Obi-Wan's hiding, all right, and then the Grand Inquisitor shows up, right, with the other Inquisitor goes, Reva, I almost have Obi-Wan. He's right there, like literally like 10 feet away, right? And Inquisitor's like, well, and I arrived to make sure we get him and capture him, blah blah blah, and like this would not be the point. This is the point. Okay, Reva, you did good, even though you're off the rails. I'll work with you. We'll follow your plan. We'll catch Obi-Wan. That's kind of how I would have wrote the scene. Okay, not that. Inquisitor's like, you will stand down and be removed, blah blah blah. So Reva just guts him. The Grand Inquisitor, the elite of the Inquisitors, and remember, this is the Sith way where it might move you up the scale, ability up the scale, So he somehow doesn't sense Reva is going to gut him. Just stands there after he like helicopter blades someone else with a lightsaber. Doesn't block with his own lightsaber. Like if Reva beat him in a fight, clearly well choreographed fight, and then she could become the Grand Inquisitor. That's the Sith way. Your might moves you up in the ranks. Okay, that's not what happens here. She totally cucks this guy. Okay, so while that's happening, Obi-Wan takes advantage to get onto the ship with Leia, and they escape. And then Obi-Wan's on the vessel, and she had been taunting him that Anakin wanted him, blah blah blah. He was alive, and Obi-Wan's like, you got a cut transition where Obi-Wan's like, Anakin, and you see cut to Vader floating in his tank being healed with his eyes open, and we see Anakin. This is a -7 out of 10 this episode. So there were 2.5 good scenes. The one where Leia is acting like a child finally. She pulls out her broken toy. She's sad, and she goes a little bit of back and forth with Obi-Wan about it. That was a good scene for 2 minutes or less. Then there was the scene with I mentioned before. That was a half good scene, and then there was so I didn't even write it down. There's one other good scene, but it's not. But in an hour-long episode, it's not enough. Okay. The Batreva. That's right. This episode turned Reva into Batman. That's the takeaway. We got the Reva we got the Reva we have forced to have. Not that we want a Reva or need a Reva. Okay. What else can I say about this crap show? That's enough. I'm sure I'll have like 5 more episodes, or 3 more episodes, or whatever of this crap. I wonder what it was. So we ripped off Batman and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi for Reva in this episode. What are we going to rip off in the next episode? Oh, here's the last little bit. It's the first thing I noticed, right? Okay. You can tell that this is wokeism at its best, right? Okay. So, obviously, Bail Organa is played by Jimmy Smith, a Latino actor. And if you look at the Organa family, you can see they have a Mediterranean or Latino or Hispanic, even could be Italian, like comes across a little bit Italian with the skin coloring, that Mediterranean look, right? And Leia is obviously a very more Northern European look, lighter skin and all that, fairer skin, right? They have the precocious 10-year-old Leia basically white privileging her way through the perceived, less white family. I caught that right away at the beginning. And I have a feeling that's the unconscious biases of the writers. But anyway. Oh, yeah, one more little stupid scene. You know what? Screw it. This is over. I can't talk about this anymore. I need to lay it down for a while. So, that's been my review. It's a -17 or negative 14 out of 10. It's so bad it's an imaginary number. It's -10i out of 10. That's how bad it is, right? My name is Matt. It's been Unbearable 73. I can't even get I can't even laugh about some of the badness in this show because it's offensive. If you enjoyed my video, give me a like or a thumbs up or whatever. I hope this is enough for you to know not to watch this crap. If you feel like watching it, make your own video talking about crap, talking about the problems. All right. I can only imagine Disparu's rip apart of this episode because I have only watched half of his review so far for episode 1, and it's amazing. He just tears it small. Honestly, I think I see all these hour-long reviews of these episodes going up, and I have a feeling that they're looking for things to be bad. Like there are a couple of things like that I know. Like the Sparrow commented about in one of his videos, where he's like, "Well, I'm like, well, she has. I'm like, she has the Force. That could explain that away. The writers probably didn't know that. They wrote his bad writing, but you can kind of. I have a feeling a lot of people will be nitpicking to find things that are bad, but they don't have to. You don't even have to get to most of the SJWism. The writing is horror show bad. Oh, okay. Anyway, this has been my review. I'm Matt from Unbearable 73. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike. Share this video out, please, if you enjoy my content and want more of it. Comment down below if you have any questions for me about my video. And I am out of here. Thank God.